Hi guys, welcome and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be sharing, or rather discussing with you guys, quite some sensitive topic. And the reason why I am doing this vlog is because sometime back when I was growing up, I actually wanted someone to talk to about these things, but I guess I was just shy, or I couldn't find someone I was comfortable to talk to about them. So I thought maybe there's someone out there who's feeling the same, and I was like, why not? Let's talk, let's share. So yeah, without much rambling and talking and yapping, let's get into this video. So the first topic of discussion is sex, sex, and I'm choosing to talk about this topic because it's a very sensitive, and it's very wide, and it's very dynamic because it's linked to a lot of things. There's a lot of aspects in it: religion, family beliefs, the society. They all have different views about it, and there's always the question, hanging in different young adults about when is actually the right time for them to have sex. And they can, there's all this information around, and from all these aspects, as I said, which can be really confusing, and sometimes you feel trapped in a bubble and you don't know actually what to do. And so I'm gonna go ahead and answer this question. So when is it actually the right time to have sex? And from my own perspective, I feel like there's actually no any particular age that should be linked to having sex, if that makes sense. I feel like sex should be done when you are ready, both physically, mentally, and emotionally, and most important, when there's consent from both parties to have sex. So if there's consent and you feel ready, I feel then it's okay for you to go ahead and have sex. So as I said, this is my own personal perspective, and I am free to be corrected. So if you feel different way, feel free to share with me in the comment section below. I'm also willing to know your views and perspectives about the matter, but for the sake of this video, and according to my perspective, there's not really any particular age that is linked to having sex. And then so going to the next subject of discussion, which is about shaving our private parts. And the question of, is it really a must for for someone to shave their private parts? And also I'm going to answer this and say, no, really, no pressure, but it's hygienic to do it, especially if you're a female. Let's say like during your menstruation period, it may be hygienic in the sense that it will be easier for you to clean yourself up. But in terms of, is it really an obligation, I'll go ahead and say no. There's no pressure to do it, but as I said, it's an hygienic act to do it. So I guess I will leave that for you to decide whether you should go ahead and do it or not. So yeah, anyway, and then just remember, the other topic of discussion is on the dynamics of, should you be in a relationship with someone who has how do I put this, in a relationship with someone who has more or less experience in sex than you, and if so, will that affect the nature of your relationship? And so I know, definitely, in a relationship, you might find yourself in a situation where you feel less or more expertise in the area of sex, and depending on how you handle the situation, you can be disappointed or overconfident about the situation. But should this affect the nature of your relationship? So for me, I'll go ahead and say no, because for me, relationship is or the key reason of why we get into relationship with someone is because we love them. And if we love them and we care for them enough, I feel like we should be able to be patient enough with the other partner and, just teach them. I'm sure it can be learned, and with time, you guys will be at the same level of expertise, and then it shouldn't be a problem anymore. But I don't agree with the idea of breaking up with someone because they were not on the same level of expertise as you. But I said again, this is my perspective. If someone is not on the same expertise as you can't be compatible anymore, and you feel that going another way, different ways makes you more happy, then go ahead and do it, because at the end of the day, we're all just trying to be happy. And so do what makes you happy. Yeah. And then that brings us to the next question, which is about body insecurities. And how do you deal with different body insecurities over period of times? Sometimes you feel like you look yourself in the mirror, you feel disgusted by yourself. How do you cope with that? And personally for me, I feel like it starts and resonates with you. So like words of affirmation and self-affirmations works a very long way, like just telling yourself you're beautiful and changing your perspective and your mindset of how you view yourself. And also things that affect it, like social media. I feel like it's important for you to be able to know what you take in and out of social media, how to filter what's positive and leave out what's negative for you, because social media is a lot and it can really mess people up and affects how they view themselves or their image of themselves out there to the society and to other people. So I feel like it's also important for people to know what to filter in, especially in social media, and just take in and absorb what is good for them and for their well-being. And then the last topic of discussion is periods and menstruation. And there's always all these questions around periods and menstruation. Is it okay if I have different type of flows? Is it okay if I have an inconsistent cycle? And all this round and round and round and round of many questions around this topic. And I'm gonna go ahead and first point out that we are all different as girls, and we always have different experiences and ways of dealing with the situation. So like for really extreme conditions, I would advise you to seek your medical doctor about it, because we all have different body systems and our body works in different ways. And we will always react in different ways to different like medication or solutions. So before jumping into something maybe you read in an article, I would advise you to first consult with your doctor if actually that is healthy for you to partake in and all of that. And we're like, is it okay, is it normal for someone to have different type of flows, heavy flow then light flow? Is it okay for someone to have a different cycle? Is it okay if your color consistency is different? I'll go ahead and say yes, because you're all different. But if you realize something is weird, don't be quiet about it. Go and seek help as quickly as you can. But also don't panic, because panic creates confusion and just anxiety and all those things. So yeah, just go ahead and just gather the courage to actually ask a medical expertise about it, and I'm sure they'll be able to advise you accordingly. Anyway, so yeah, so those were the topics I wanted to discuss today. I hope you guys really enjoyed, or rather learned from this vlog and from the information I shared in this vlog. And yeah, so as I said, I just did this vlog to be able to make someone out there feel they were not alone, they can talk to someone about these things. It's not shameful, they shouldn't be shy to talk about them. So I hope this video actually did that. So kindly comment also on this video on like your different perspectives on the subjects I talked about, or if you have, you know, ideas on remedies to help another someone out there about these aspects, or your experiences on them. Feel free to comment, feel free to share this video, feel free to like, and see you in my next videos. Bye.